making really good decisions, which is obviously the first thing you look for a guy that's in his first year starting. Hasn't turned the ball over very much at all, so that's exciting. Has found ways to complete balls. He's over at 64% or so, and really good touchdown interception ratio, and has managed the game really well. So far, so good. But the next half of the season will be another test. He hasn't been on the road yet, so that'll be obviously different. And then, we just got a chance to continue to see how he improves.
We'll
often talk about a play that you've dialed up that week, and you can see that he likes the creativity. Talk about that side of the job, looking for something new every week or periodically that could be a good play for you.
I think that just we're game planning every week. Every day. Every day is we game plan, and we put together the best possible pass game and run game we can, and then try to deliver it in a way that they understand why the plays are in, and then maybe show them examples of plays whether or not they've worked in other places, or whether they've worked here, or whether it looks like they would work based on the coverages we get. And we spend a lot of time just kind of explaining in our meetings, all position groups and all coaches, on why plays are in and how to go out there and execute them.
Some of the protection issues at times with veterans, are those some mistakes that you guys shouldn't be making at this point in these guys' careers?
I think that I don't know much about whether we should or shouldn't be making them. I don't think there's really many that are being made. I think we're still, we've only been sacked in 5 games, 8 times or 9 times, something like that. I don't know. That's not much. I think we do a really good job of picking up almost everything. We get the kitchen sink thrown at us, and our guys work really, really hard to pick it all up. And over the course of 17 games or so, we've probably been as good as anyone in terms of not getting sacked and getting the ball off. So I don't think there's much of an issue there.
When Jabril's working in the Wildcat, are you hands-on with him in practice there, or who has the most input?
With everything, it's a group collective effort in all that we do. But the Wildcat stuff that we throw him in quarterback role, then he kind of deals with some of the ball handling with us. But really, everybody's collectively talking to him about what that job entails and what plays we're putting in, and then really what he's going to do with those plays, and how the footwork and the reads and all that.
Your thoughts on how he's handling it?
Great so far. He's done a great job. He's a football player through and through. He can kind of probably do anything. He certainly has shown that. So he can jump in there and most positions on the field and be as good as anyone on the field, and that's pretty cool, pretty special.
Well, we were talking the other day about how much other film from NFL places and other places you use with him. Tom Brady, Ben Roethlisberger. What do you think that does, and how do you decide what you want to show?
Each day we start a meeting off with about 8 or 10 clips of an NFL quarterback or an NFL offense, and really just, there's different things to show them all the time, whether it be pocket presence, whether it be with, how they throw the screen game, whether it be how they, maintain a base in the pocket with when they're going to throw the deep ball, and really what we try to do is I try to look for what may be something we struggled with the day before in practice or in the game, and kind of give him examples of guys and then show him some clips of those guys executing and excelling in those in that role. Ben Roethlisberger is obviously a big, strong quarterback that sometimes has guys hanging on him, and he has to shrug some guys off. But maybe the other day he might have mentioned we just try to show him how he gets back. He gets back to a great base. He gets back to a throwing position. He doesn't get tangled. There's different things with all these guys that we like to show, and obviously there's nothing better than watching the guys at the highest level doing it. So that's why we do that.
You just have a giant library of all that stuff indexed based on what you want to show them then, or?
We have every, well, we get every NFL game, and we have a lot of things tied over, over the course of the last 10 or 15 years. I've developed a pretty good base of things to show them, I don't know if it's good or bad, but I've had a lot of first-year starters over the last 7 years. I think every one I've had, every quarterback that I've coached, it was their first year since Matt Hasselbeck, I guess. And it was his first year in our system. So with that, with Jacory, and then Steven, and then Blaine, then Blake, and then Jake, and now Wilton, every year is somebody new taking the starting role. So try to index some things up and be able to show it to them.
With the first starters, Jedd, not to compare the two guys because they're different players, but Wilton is ahead of where Jake was through like 5 games and most every measurable. Is that just a matter of circumstance? He was here longer, everybody was here longer, or has he done something different?
Yeah, I think it's probably all of the above. I think it has to do with the fact that we're now in year 2, so we kind of have a good feel of what our guys can and cannot do. We've had Amar and JU are now in year 2 of this, and Jake. So there's probably a little more familiarity there in terms of our past concepts. So it helps Wilton in that regard versus maybe with Jake, they were all learning it together. Wilton was here in the spring where Jake wasn't, but not ready to, make that comparison just yet. I think Jake did some amazing things for us and continued to get better every single week. And hopefully Wilton will take the same, the second half of the year that Jake had last year. Let's hope that, Wilton has that same second half of the year this year, if not an even better one.
Is it the bar you comparing it? This is about the time where Jake started to really take off. Is that kind of what you?
Yeah,
talked
we
about
don't
that?
we don't really talk about that. No, we just talk about raising the bar every game and raising the bar every practice. And the more he knows, the more he's expected to know, the more he is expected to be better. And not better than Jake, but better than he was the week before. So we continue to just kind of work through that with him and see if we can get him better.
To that end, was it good to get the level of defensive challenge you got out of Wisconsin at this point?
Yeah, it was exciting. Exciting. You go look back at Wisconsin, and since the Alabama game, which was the first game of the year a year ago, no one even got over, I think, 330 yards against that defense. So it was about 15 games or so that went without 330 yards. That was it was a tough defense. They are good. So for Wilton to have an opportunity to go against those guys, that'll be great for him as we go. And now we get on the road for the first time, or as the games continue to be all Big Ten play, right? All those games, all those things will be good for him that he had that Wisconsin game.
Do you have a formula